Hello everyone, it's Tracy. My hair looks like a mess. It's more and more gray coming in. So I wanted to come to you and share my post-operation update. So I am now 8 days out from my total hysterectomy with tubes and ovaries. So that means my uterus, my cervix, my tubes, my ovaries. I think that's all the lady parts there. And then I had fat grafting done. So the doctor had said he was going to try to take from my stomach, but since they are doing incisions there for the hysterectomy, was not sure how much he would be able to do from the stomach, so would do anywhere else to get at what he needed. I just asked him not to go on the side of my right, like, hip area or thigh. There's not a whole bunch there anyway, like right in that area, but I can tell when I sleep on that side I don't have as much cushion. So he said, just don't go there. And I was really praying, like, you don't take it from the butt. That sounds really weird, but I don't have, my butt is so flat, I don't have a lot of cushion there either. So, but they don't, that's not typically a place. So they'll take it from like your thighs or your love handles, your flanks. So what he ended up doing is the under part of my belly, right before your pubic region, had taken some there. And I could tell because of how all bruised up it was. I looked like I was in a knockdown, drag out fight. So there, and started to take a little bit on like my love handles on this side, but ended up taking a majority from the love handle area from this side. And it was a purple, yellow bruise, like it was like the size of my face. I mean, that's how big it was. So when I woke up, I don't know how long the surgery was. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 hours. And woke up. Tony wasn't going to go in the hospital until I was in a room because he could only come in and leave once every day. And when I woke up and they wheeled me into the room, I was worried because when I woke up, I was hurting a lot. I didn't know what to expect because I read a lot of things both ways. And it really depends too on how the surgery is done. So the surgery can be done fully robotic. It's called Da Vinci, where they take everything out through your stomach and use the tools and stuff that way. They may have to do that with a vaginal assist, where your uterus, they can't break it up, so they have to take your uterus out through your vagina. Or they can do it abdominal, where they would slice you all the way and take stuff from there. So my doctor had said, I think it was like a 3% chance that he would have to do abdominal. He said it's very little that he would ever have to do that. And so came out and he said he was able to get everything through the incisions in my stomach. Everything went smoothly. He knew my biggest worry was if there's any cancer in the tissue. And I am 8 days post-op and I don't have that information yet. So I'm really hoping either tomorrow. If not, I go to see my gynecologist on Tuesday morning for a follow-up. For my first follow-up there. So I think I follow up with him. It's at 2. I'll be almost 2 weeks out by then, and then I think it's 4 weeks after that. You can't get back to a lot of activity until typically it's like 6 to 8 weeks. So I am looking to go back to work at 3 weeks. And typically people with desk jobs, 3 to 4 weeks, they can do that. And especially because the surgery, they didn't have to slice me open or do the assist or anything like that. My recovery should be a little bit better. So I would say the weirdest thing for me is in my recovery, when I woke up, I didn't realize that I was bruised all over because I didn't know at the time when I woke up where the fat grafting was done from. The last time I had fat grafting was in May when they actually exchanged my expanders for the implants, and he did some fat grafting from my stomach. So I knew that my stomach could be really sore. So when I woke up, the nurse, I was trying to like sit myself up a little bit more, pull myself up, and I told the nurses, I'm like, I have to pee so bad. Like, I have to get up and go pee. And they're like, no, you have a catheter in. This is the first time that I have had a catheter when I've been awake. So I know that they've done them in surgery before, but they take them out like either in recovery or right before the end of the surgery or whatnot. So this is the first time, that I've had one when I was awake. And I wouldn't say that it hurt, but there was that pressure, and I said, it's just the weirdest feeling, like I have to get up and go to the bathroom, and I was never relieved of that pressure. And it was, I think I got to my room about noon on Wednesday, and around 6 o'clock is when the nurse finally took the catheter out. And she said, okay, after I take the catheter out, she said, let me know when you want to get up and go to the bathroom. And so she had, thankfully it did not hurt. Tony had a horror story from when he had his catheter removed, and I think a man's is probably a little bit more different than a woman anyway. But basically she kind of moved it a little bit back and forth, and she said, breathe in, and I did. And she said, breathe out for a really long time. I did, and once I breathed out, she, pulled it, not like really hard or anything like that. So it was not terrible. She's like, let me know when you want to get up and go to the bathroom. I said, right now. I was like, I still have the feeling that I have to go. So, of course, I did. I went to the bathroom. It was pretty good. They had me use a walker the first 2 times I got up out of the bed to get over, and they had to drag my IV with me. But after that, I did pretty well. They were going to send me home Wednesday night. I had my operation first thing Wednesday morning. And the nurses said, she said, the doctor has approved that you could leave and go home tonight. And I looked at her and I said, you're out of your mind. I was in so much pain. And even just to get out of my bed, the nurses were like, don't use your stomach to get up. She said, roll over on your side and then kind of push yourself up with your arms. I couldn't roll over onto my side because I was so bruised. And I didn't realize it until later. I looked in the bathroom and I realized all the bruising I had. So I had to really hold on strong and pull up on the bed, and I got some help. I had the greatest nurse. So the nurse when I got to my room was amazing. She's the one that took out the catheter, and the aids I had were amazing, the PSAs. The nurse I had overnight, her name was Cynthia, and I can't say enough good things about Cynthia. So Cynthia told me a year ago she had her hysterectomy, and she had abdominal. They had to cut her open. But she knew what I was going through. And she's like, you're first on my list. I'm going to, every couple hours, to come to give you drugs and everything. So I had the IV, and so she would come in and they would give me stuff through my IV every 4 hours, and then on the odd every 4 hours I would get a pill. I think it was Percocet that they were giving me, and that's what I came home with too. And I didn't know what to expect, but I'll tell you, the first 4 or 5 days at home, I was taking the Percocet religiously throughout the day and the night to help me because I was so sore and hurting a lot. And it wasn't until Tuesday of this week, it was Tuesday, so almost a week from the surgery, that I actually left the house and went out. So I was able, thank you, Becky, got me out of the house, and we went and sat down and had lunch. Weren't out too long or anything, but then she brought me back home, and I slept on and off. So the one thing I was not expecting, and I don't know that I've had ever before, is when they go to do a hysterectomy, they put all this gas in your stomach, and it's so that it expands your stomach and I don't know if it's pull the organs, spaces them out or gives them room to work. So as you're recovering, that gas, and I was even saying a couple of days ago, I looked at my stomach before I got in the shower, and I was like, I feel like there's an alien stretched out in here. And it's just huge, and you could feel all that. And of course you have the symptoms of having gas, which is so funny because my mom always told me that girls don't fart when I was little. So I tell people that still. But that gas starts to rise in your body, and some people feel it in their shoulder blades. My back has been hurting really, really bad. So I've been doing BioFreeze on it. I've been doing a heating pad. I've also, at one time I put some ice on it because I thought I slept weird on my neck somehow. I could only sleep, on my back for the longest time, and then I was able to kind of shift a little bit on either side and sleep that way, but I think I got a kink in my neck, and then in addition to the back. So that's been what's hurting now. So I was initially looking at taking 2 weeks. I was allotted to take up to 3 weeks off of work for short-term disability. I was trying to do 2 weeks so I could get back. But at this point, I'm just over a week, and I'm still, it's up and down with how I've been feeling. So I'll know for sure next week. but I think I'm gonna probably be closer to that 3 week mark, just to make sure I give my body that time to recover. I've been trying to get up and walk a little bit more. We went to the store this morning, but I came home and took an hour or two nap after that just because I was exhausted. I can't push the cart because you don't realize how much you use your stomach to push the cart. I couldn't carry the bags, so I carried the toilet paper and the paper towels, put them in the back seat. So that's kind of how my recovery is going right now. Not too bad. I wasn't sure what to expect, even though I've had the 2 other surgeries this year. I had my double mastectomy, and the reconstruction started in February, and that one was really, really hard. But I knew to expect a lot of that. I knew I wouldn't be able to move my arms very well. I knew I'd be sleeping in a recliner for 2 to 3 weeks. Nothing has been like that. The pain from this one I wasn't quite sure of, and it's been a little bit more painful than I thought it would be. And then my May was my exchange from my expanders to my implants and doing some fat grafting, and I recovered really quickly, and that's a pretty simple procedure. So I am happy with how my chest looks. I tried not to judge it the first few days that I was home. I do have to wear this beautiful compression bra. So this is how they make it all fancy, I guess. But these are Velcro, and it's a zip down. But I have to wear this compression bra for at least 2 to 3 more weeks. My plastic surgeon, I got to see him yesterday and did a follow-up, and he was pleased with how everything looked. And there's 2 scars right here and 2 up here from where he did the insert of the fat, and those are healing nicely. I was able to take the glue off them the other day. And then I do have Steri-Strip tape over from my hysterectomy that I have not taken off yet. I have to wait until I go to the doctor, just to make sure, like, if I take them off, I don't want them to leak or anything like that. But they are so sensitive, even as the days go on. So I was in the grocery store today. Tony doesn't care anymore. And I'm like holding out my shirt and like trying not to let my shirt touch these Steri-Strips because it's just so irritating. And then when I laid down to take a nap when I got home, I lifted my shirt up and I'm just like laying here. And the other thing I found too is my oncologist had told me that I would probably not have a lot of symptoms of menopause yet, even though I will go into menopause because my tumor was hormone fed, so I can't take hormone replacement therapy. So I will be on the hormone blocker in addition to, I don't have to do the Lupron shots anymore since my ovaries are gone. But a lot of women start to see things over time. And what I have noticed just since surgery, and granted it's only been 8 days, is that I am either extremely hot or extremely cold. Most of the time it's extremely hot. And Tony was even sick a couple days ago, wasn't feeling well. And we thought it was like allergies or something. And he was like, he would be freezing and I would be burning up. So it was like, oh my gosh. And we got fans on each side of the bed and above us, and he would turn them off or on, and I would have them off or on. And then I have a sheet and a comforter, and I would have them on starting the night, and then by the end of the night, wouldn't have them on, that kind of thing. So I feel like I've been hot more than anything. And so wearing shorts, and even like this t-shirt, this feels almost thick. It could be too thick. So this morning I took the dogs out and I came back in and I was like, oh my gosh, I am burning up. So I think I need to get used to that. Somebody said it may not be like hot flashes, but surges. So you feel it for a long time, and it could lead to, having hot flashes over time. So I am interested for anybody watching who has gone through menopause and who goes through that, like, how do you deal with that? And, maybe what helps with that. And again, I can't take hormones, so it might just be adjusting like what I'm wearing, or making sure that I'm not going out all the time, because for me right now it's just been too hot, and I'm already burning up when I walk out the door. So interested to see how people have adjusted to that over time. So just wanted to bring an update. I've gotten lots of texts and emails and phone calls, and thank you all. I appreciate your prayers. Keep them coming. Hopefully within, at least by Tuesday, I'll have the pathology reports to make sure that I did not have any cancer in my cervix, my uterus, my ovaries, anything like that. The gynecologist that did the surgery said that everything looked really good when he took it out, but that doesn't mean, I mean, it could be hiding somewhere in there. So I think I'll be able to relax and kind of breathe a little bit more when I get the results of that back, and then figure out, can I move on, and that there's not just another step and something else to do. There'll always be different things I need preventative and to watch out for, but I think it'll just be a relief and be able to breathe a little bit. So we'll definitely let you know when I hear more. And thank you again. I hope you all have a great rest of the week and weekend. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.